He's been hiding his real identity for a long, long time. We all know that. And his real identity is an Israeli propagandist, bought prostitute for the government of Israel. Everyone knows that. Now even the right wing knows that.
To people in my party, I'm tired of this crap. Israel is our friend. They're the most reliable friend we have in the Mideast. A word of warning. If America pulls the plug on Israel, God will pull the plug on us.
Over the weekend, Senator Lindsey Graham said that if America does not continue to support Israel, there will be consequences from God. And that sounds harsh, but he also said that he's tired of the word genocide. We'll play that clip for you in a minute, but first, Cenk, what is your reaction to what you just saw? Do you think there will be consequences from God if we do not support Israel?
Okay, what does that mean? Like, I mean, I asked really, I mean, like, obviously no Democrat and no independent would believe such a maniacal thing, right? And at this point, most right-wingers hate Lindsey Graham, right? But I asked all the right, what do you think he means? Because do you think Lindsey Graham's talking to God? Do you think God told him, oh, hey, tell everybody that America's gonna get wiped out. I'm gonna kill everybody in America. I'm gonna pull the plug on America. I'm gonna wipe out and totally destroy America unless you all send your money to Israel right now. Does anyone in their right mind believe that there's a 1% chance that that happened? Obviously not, obviously not. So, but Lindsey Graham does work for someone. He works for Israel. And here, I'll skip ahead to one graphic here, AIPAC tracker. How much has he gotten from the pro-Israel lobby? Oh, look at that, over $1 million. Moronic mainstream media reporters will say it has not affected him at all. No, he doesn't work for Israel. That was just a coincidental $1 million. And he happened to already agree that we should all be dogs to Israel. We should all serve Israel loyally and not America. And if we don't, God will murder us all. So I ask all Americans, but particularly the right wing, do you think God will wipe us out unless we keep sending money and weapons to Israel? A government, a foreign government. That God cares so much about a foreign government that unless we send them endless bombs and weapons and allow them to murder anyone they like and take any land they like, and we give them another $300 billion, unless we do that, God is going to kill us all. So obviously no one in their right mind can believe that. So what is that threat about? Since he doesn't speak to God, but he does speak to Israel, is Lindsey Graham threatening America? Is he saying if you don't keep funding Israel and following their orders, I, a United States Senator, am threatening you on behalf of Israel? Wow. So just when you thought the bribery and the corruption in Washington couldn't get any worse, we have the senator from Tel Aviv telling us that all of America will be destroyed by God unless we follow the orders of a foreign government. Unbelievable. All right, there's more madness where this came from.
Yeah, here's more of Lindsey Graham's speech at a South Carolina Republican fundraiser. Take a look.
I am tired of the word genocide. Let me tell you about genocide. If Israel wanted to commit genocide, they could. They have the capability to do that. They choose not to. Hamas, they would commit genocide in 30 seconds. They just can't. October the 7th was an effort to destroy the state of Israel, the largest loss of Jewish life since the Holocaust. And here we are almost 2 years later, and Israel's the bad guy. That's ridiculous. Israel is not the bad guy. They're the good guy. The bad guys are the radical Islamists who would kill everybody in this room if they could. So I haven't lost my vision of right and wrong. When it comes to foreign policy, President Trump has stood up for all the right things, and he stood up against wrong things, just like Reagan.
And what he just said was bought and paid for by AIPAC and the pro-Israel lobby, because like Cenk said earlier, Lindsey Graham has received over $1 million from AIPAC and the pro-Israel lobby. But let's revisit something that Graham said in the cold open. He was calling out, to quote him, members of his own party. It's likely a reference to Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, who is now stating that Israel is committing a genocide. But this is bigger than just Greene. It's about the Republican base overall. Last month, the Financial Times reported that my people are starting to hate Israel. Trump recently warned one prominent Jewish donor, according to a Middle East expert who speaks regularly with the administration. And that would explain why Israel is now trying to win over MAGA influencers, according to a recent article from Axios. 15 MAGA influencers visited Israel this week on a trip organized by Israel 365, an advocacy group that aims to strengthen Israel by building bridges between Jews, Christians, and all who share our faith-based values. According to Axios, the Israeli Foreign Ministry gave Israel 365 a $70,000 contract to organize the trip. The group toured the Western Wall, the West Bank, Golan Heights, the Syrian border, and sites impacted by the October 7th attacks. Israel 365 covered the cost of all hotels, transportation, food, and activities. Some of the influencers on the trip include Emily Saves America, Fabian Garcia, and Jane Zirkle. Zirkle was affiliated with Steve Bannon's War Room podcast, but according to an anonymous source, the podcast parted ways with her because of the trip. All of the influencers we mentioned have posted content from their trip, and you'll see some supportive messages in the comments, but you'll also see comments like the following. "Don't come back," wrote one person. Another person pointed out, "This post proudly paid for by Israel." Another one said, "Israel first." Someone said, "Go kiss the wall." Time will tell if Israel's investment into MAGA influencers will pay off. If it doesn't, the Israeli government is courting another audience, evangelicals. Another foreign ministry memo obtained by Axios showed plans to work with Trinity Broadcast Network, which has a significant evangelical audience in the US. Cenk.
Yeah, so let's take it one at a time. I'm gonna come back to the sellout influencers in a second, all whores. So first, Lindsey Graham, both directions can do harsh talk. I know, in America, you're used to Lindsey Graham saying everybody in America is gonna get wiped out unless you send more money to Israel. Maybe it won't even be a controversy. Is anybody in cable news still talking about it now? No, gone in like a couple hours, right? That's not controversial at all. If you offend the feelings of an Israeli supporter, there'll be congressional hearings though, okay? So he gets to be harsh, I get to be harsh. So I'll come back to those prostitutes in a minute. So let's talk about Lindsey Graham. So he said, I'm so tired about hearing about genocide. Yeah, because you're getting funded by the people committing genocide. That's why you're tired of hearing about it. You're like, oh, boo-hoo. So I got bribed to support a genocide where we just murdered tens of thousands of children. I'm so tired about hearing about it. It's hurting my ears a little bit. Okay, so why don't you all shut up about the genocide that I'm funding with your money, by the way, because I'm a corrupt son of a bitch who works for Israel. Okay, then he says, well, I mean, they could murder if they wanted to genocide. They could murder all the Palestinians. Okay, so that's two things about that you should know. Number one, it is literally what every defender of a genocide says. Oh, well, we could have killed all the people in Srebrenica, all the people in Bosnia, all the people in Armenia. We could have killed all the people in Cambodia. We could have killed them all, but we didn't. Oh, hey, you know what? The Japanese could have killed everybody in China, but they only raped Nanking. So that's not a big deal, right? No, there's a difference between a genocide and a Holocaust. A Holocaust is when you try to wipe out a whole race. Genocide is when you kill basically a lot of people in an ethnicity that you targeted. So are the Israelis killing random Norwegians and people from Botswana and Bolivia and Palestinians? No, they're targeting the Palestinians, and they have murdered an extraordinarily large number of people. They've targeted civilians, sniper shots, mass starvation, mass ethnic cleansing, textbook genocide. I mean, there's no debate about it among sane, rational people anymore. Only the corrupt have a conversation about whether it's a genocide. And I'll throw in some biased people. Oh, I love Israel. Oh, my grandmother's from Israel, so Israel can do no wrong. You're all anti-Semites, okay? No, yeah, Israel can commit a genocide, but you're not allowed to call it that because I'll call you an anti-Semite and try to ruin your life. I'm not interested in that. I don't care. You can call it. I mean, everything bounces off of us. I don't care, okay? What I care about is you actually doing a genocide and supporting a genocide like this sick Lindsey Graham. So he says October 7th was the worst death of Jews since the Holocaust. God, that sounds terrible, right? And everybody's like, they always love that line. They love to use that line. And it is terrible. It is terrible. So we condemned Hamas a billion times already for that, right? So good, we all agree it's terrible. Now, this thing that is so bad, it's the worst thing since the Holocaust. Israel has killed 60 times the number of civilians. So 60 events that are the worst since the Holocaust. I know, they don't affect Israelis. Does that count? They affect the inferior people, the Palestinians. So I guess our media says, and our politicians like Lindsey Graham say, that doesn't count. Who cares that it's the worst thing since the Holocaust? I don't care, they're only Muslims, they're only Palestinians. So they did it not once, not twice, not 3 times. Should I go all the way to 60? They've murdered more than 500 times the number of children that Hamas has murdered. So Hamas bad, Israel 500 times worse. Obviously terrorists by definition. But Lindsey Graham says, no, but I got $1 million from them. So you'll all bow your head to Israel, otherwise God will wipe you out. And besides which, I don't work for you. You idiots in South Carolina, you elected me? No, Tel Aviv and Jerusalem elected me. They gave me the money and I work for them. He says, oh my God, if the Palestinians could, they'd murder so many Israelis. Except they're not doing that. Israel is doing it to the Palestinians. They literally do. Israel is literally doing it. Not could, is doing it. Oh no, who cares? Palestinians. Who cares? Just kill them all. Who cares? Who cares? Okay, so all right, Israeli lives are the most precious, superior human beings on earth, but the Palestinians don't even count. I mean, what a racist, bigoted clown ass this Lindsey Graham is. Okay, I mean, he's been hiding his real identity for a long, long time. We all know that. And his real identity is an Israeli propagandist, bought prostitute for the government of Israel. Everyone knows that. Now even the right wing knows that. All right, last thing, we go back to the other whores, the right wing influencers who brought to Israel. And they're like, okay, you bow at the wall. Bow to Israel. And then you give them this propaganda and they idiots come back. They're like, oh my God, Israel's so great. We love the genocide, it's terrific. Palestinian lives are irrelevant. Israel murdered 54 more Palestinians today, it's so great. Okay, all losers like the Nelk boys and all these propagandists for Israel, they're disgusting. And if you listen to them, obviously they're lying to you. They literally got paid to lie to you, right? But look, they're tiny, they're not that important. If you notice anyone, but generally seems to be the right wing hosts online, not the independents, not the left. You know I've had criticism for everyone, okay? But in this case, it is the right-wing influencers. If you see them hosting a show telling you to kiss Israel's ass, I guarantee you they got paid by an Israeli supporter. I guarantee it. So if you see someone, Charlie Kirk, going, oh, Israel's the greatest, Israel, Muslims are dirty, Muslims are gonna do 9/11, Muslims are racist, Muslims are the worst, Israel's the greatest. I would be shocked if he wasn't bribed by an Israeli supporter, and then if just after, and I'm not just talking about one person, you could tell, you just watch their shows. If they're dogs for Israel, that means they got paid by Israel. No one voluntarily goes, oh yeah, they spit on Christians, they bombed a church. Yeah, I love them. You guys should love them too. Nobody does that. Even if you're like a Christian nationalist, even if you're the most deep right winger, oh, they already took $300 billion off of, we should send them another $300 billion. No one on the right would voluntarily say that. No one with a shred of sanity would voluntarily say that. You only say that if you're getting paid by Israeli supporters. So whoever you are, I don't give a goddamn who you are, you're a bought bitch. So why don't you be honest with your audience and tell them where you got your money? Because there's no chance that you voluntarily love a genocide. Or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you do, you just like, oh, they're committing a genocide. Oh, I would have taken a genocide on anybody because I'm a bloodthirsty, terrible person. Oh, but Israel's doing the genocide. Yes, yes. Okay, either you're a bloodthirsty clown who just loves murder and mayhem and stealing other people's land and spitting on Christians and killing Muslims, killing Christians. You voluntarily love that, or way more likely, you're getting paid by Israeli supporters to be their little dogs that they walk around the park. I think I've been clear enough.
Yeah, just you look at where the MAGA foreign policy was, and it was anti-intervention, it was anti-war a couple years ago, and of course, you're seeing more and more frustration, opposition from people on the right. But then every once in a while, you have a few outliers in the talking head influencer crowd. I don't think it's far-fetched to assume that it's a result of being bought and paid for. It's a result of direct investment in their enterprise or their business or organization. That's just what happens on the right. There's a ton of corporate money, there's a ton of special interest money that props up that right-wing ecosystem. Sometimes it manifests as culture war issues, and other times it's like this, to distort and warp reality to further some sort of special interests objective. I don't see any other scenario where you can look at this and think, yeah, this is good. Unless, let me take a step back. There is a scenario, and this is common on the right. Unfortunately, it's common throughout America, and it's just xenophobia and Islamophobia. So if you are of that mindset, sure, this might be what you actually want. But I think there are many people, like you're seeing with these trips, they're paid for it, the same thing they do with Congress. They're just applying it now to influencers, and they'll then go into the evangelical circles, which we have to acknowledge the irony there, because the evangelicals think that all the Jews will be wiped out when Jesus returns.
Genocidal maniacs to the left of me, genocidal maniacs to the right of me. We're all stuck in the middle with these lunatics and the corrupt. God help us all, if he exists. Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.